In this video I'll be showing you this. It's the Igenix IG9521 Smart Glass Panel Heater. And what I want to do today is to show you around the heater some of the features and benefits that it offers. Just before I start, I would appreciate it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just give us a quick thumbs up. So I suppose really the first thing I need to do is to start getting it unboxed. I'm quite intrigued by this. It's something that we've not really sold a lot of before. We do sell a lot of heaters as a company. So I think what I need to do is I need to just pop it down here for a moment. And there's quite a few little accessories. Light on its back because it's glass. I don't want to damage anything. So this looks, I must say, first appearances, this looks really substantial. I don't quite know what I was expecting. This is why I like to unbox these kind of things almost on the video. I don't like to do it beforehand, but that's the beauty itself. It's got to clearly being glass. It's got a nice shiny finish to it. So I'm just going to have a quick look for the screws, because I can't help but feel that the safest thing really is to put the feet on. There we are. Got two of the cheeky little feet that need to go on the bottom. I found the bag of screws. They were in the top in part of the polystyrene packaging. And in here you'll see you've got there are 4 small screws that I'm going to use in a moment to put the feet on, and also you've got some raw plugs and some longer screws. I'll explain a little bit more about that in a moment, but basically this is wall mountable as well, this heater. So let's just empty the packet. Let's just take out the small screws, and this should be quite easy to put on. So you just need a Phillips screwdriver. I'd recommend, like I've done here, just popping it on a flat surface on its back. You just don't want to damage the glass itself. There we are. So we've got both feet on there. That was really easy to do. And I'd say I really like the look of that. Looks very smart. I think what I want to do first is just to have a quick measure of the heater itself, just while I think about it, because all you want to do is just make sure it's going to fit in the space if you've got a certain space. So it's 82 centimeters wide, or just over 32 inches wide. The height of it, so you're looking at 46 centimeters or 18 inches, and front to back. So if you're taking into account the feet, then that's always going to be the deepest part. So they are 19 centimeters or 7.5 inches. Or if it was just the heater itself, so if you were going to wall mount it, then you'd be looking at around 10 centimeters or around 4 inches. I'll just show you around the back of the heater, because if you did want to wall mount it, then you've got the bracket on the back here. So that's this part here. And all you would do is you just take this off, and you'd actually wall mount this first onto the wall, and then all you would do is just locate the heater onto the bracket. So that's quite an easy process, and as I showed you earlier, you do get a handful of raw plugs and screws. Clearly it depends on the type of wall that it's going into. If it's going into, say, a plasterboard wall, then those kind of raw plugs are not really suitable. I'd recommend just getting 4 others. I wasn't quite sure where the control panel was going to be, or the display. I know some of them I've seen, you've actually got a little display at the front, but Igenix have decided to put it around the back, which is okay. I think personally I quite like that. I have seen one recently where it had the display on the front and it had a little light on the front as well, and I must admit it was a little bit annoying because the light was quite bright on the front. So I'm glad that Igenix have decided to put it around the back. It, I suppose, just gets it out of the way, just keeps it nice and clean, especially if you're going to wall mount it. If it's going to be part of say a bedroom heater or an extra room heater, then you don't want anything too bright on the front. What we found is that the market for this kind of product, the portable heaters, has really taken off, especially over the last 12-18 months. And I think really what's happening is that as energy prices have gone up, again over the last 12-18 months, that people aren't turning their central heating on as much. Especially if you're on your own, or if there's only one or two people in the household, they don't want to heat the whole house, they'd just rather heat individual rooms. And I know to some people it sounds a little bit odd, but that's just the way that some people are thinking at the moment, and I suppose technically it's not wrong. And what they're doing is they're going to buy individual heaters like this just to heat the room. So rather than just having a little fan heater, they'd rather have something a lot smarter looking like this. So there is actually an app that you can download, whether you've got an iPhone or whether it's an Android device. You can download it, and through your phone you can actually set it up so that you can get it to turn on at certain times and different temperatures. There's quite a lot you can do. I've seen demonstrations of it. Unfortunately, at the moment, at this time of recording, it isn't working on my phone because the software version is not applicable for the Igenix app. So I had been in contact, I've done a little bit of research just while recording this video, and they're just working on an update. So hopefully by the time, if you are buying one of these, hopefully by the time you get it, then that'll all be sorted and you'll just be able to carry on as planned. But it's certainly something I'd recommend downloading onto your phone. I suppose it just saves having to set everything up through the top here. I'll show you this in a moment anyway. Also, if you use things like Alexa or Google Home, then you've got the ability to link it up through that as well. And the main advantage is you've got things like voice commands that you can operate the heater with. I've not actually seen a demonstration of it, and I suppose a little bit disappointed I couldn't download the app because I did want to try it. But I think it's something, again, if you are going to, or if you have bought one, then I'd certainly recommend having a go with it. So what I've done is I've just moved the camera to show you the control panel. So first of all, you'll notice you've got you've got 6 buttons here, and if I just turn the heater on, then it displays the temperature that's on there. Now that's fully adjustable, and I suppose really depending on what you wanted it to do. I know it sounds probably silly saying that, but some people want, say, heat within the room, and they want it to be very warm. I do know of other people who have say other rooms. It could be something like an external garage or something. One of my friends, she's got like a sewing room out in the garage, and she wants some kind of heat out there, not as to keep it hot, but clearly all the fabric, she doesn't want it to go mouldy. So really having some kind of almost like a residual heat out there, just a low heat all the time, is ideal, and that's really where this heater comes into its own. But what you can do is you can just set the temperature, so it goes up to 35 degrees, and you will see that there's a little indicator to show that it's on at the moment, and I can feel that it's starting to get warm here. And then it starts at 5 degrees, and I suppose for things like outside, you know, especially if the room is quite cold, then you might not want it on too much, so say 10 or 15 degrees would normally be more than enough. But that's the range it goes from. So it goes from 5 degrees, and it goes up in 1 degree increments all the way up to 35. So you know, if 35 degrees would be really, really hot, I'm not going to leave it on that long to get that hot. You have also got some preset programs on here. I'll just show you in the instructions. These are, I'm not going to go through them all individually, but you've got some programs in here, and that just shows when let's just turn that around. So it just shows when the heater would be on, and that's normally pressing. Now also with the heater, you've actually got some preset options, so you can have the heater to come on and off at certain times. Now within the instructions, you'll see that you've got different settings in here. You've got the different, what they call P settings, so program settings. So for P1 and P2, then they're actually fixed. You can't alter those. But what you can do with program 3, you can alter the times that you want it to come on. So it's really good that you've got the flexibility to do that. I suppose the same as like a normal central heating system. If you're going to be out for the day, if it's in a normal room and if the temperature is normally okay, then you don't necessarily need the heating on all the time, especially if you're out at work or even during the night. That's the advantage of this kind of system. But personally, I still recommend, if you have got the app enabled, then I think using the app might be a little bit easier than having to set it up on the top here. So if you are thinking of buying one of these, I've provided a link below to show you where to get one at a competitive price. All I want to do was to just give you a quick overview as to what the heater does. Well, clearly it heats, that's kind of obvious. But just really things like the quick setup process. I do apologise for not being able to set it up the Wi-Fi side of it. That's quite disappointing. I really want to do that, but as I say, it's not suitable for my phone at the moment. I just wanted to show you how it operates on the top, because even if you don't want to set it up through your phone or through a tablet, then at least you've got the option to do everything on the top here. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the quick video on the Igenix IG9521 Smart Glass Panel Heater. All I'd normally ask is please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just give us a quick thumbs up, click subscribe and leave any comments below. I do always ask for comments, whether it's good or bad about the video. If there's something that you wanted to know about the heater, if there's a question that you had and if I've not answered it, just pop it in the comments and then I'll get back to you, because I've got one of these on display at the moment in a showroom. Also, if you have got one of these, or if you have got a smart glass panel, or if you've got a panel heater like this, a glass one, that operates in a similar way, then let me know what you think about it, because I do always appreciate the feedback. Thanks for watching.